Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Roadrunner.com. Check out Snippy's plane. Holy shit. So Snippy crashed in a forest. I guess his engine conked out on him. So he found, like, there was nowhere to land. And he's coming down, so he sees this area of small sapling type trees. It's like, well, at least those won't kill me. Maybe, it won't rip me apart in the wings and all that. Maybe it'll slow down my crash. But look at this plane, destroyed. It's amazing he survived. Truthfully, someone was looking out for him up above. So he's doing fine. He's home, hurting.
And they will slow me down at the same.
That's what he looks like right now. His ribs are killing him, and so lots of love to Snippy. Get better soon. I wouldn't. I don't know. I don't like flying, and there's a lot of people who don't like heights. I'm not a height guy. I had heard some weird stuff about heights. Like in one of your past lives, it probably means you lost your life in a fall. That type of thing, a fall or a global type of event where all of a sudden the gravity is gone and then you crash down. I heard that one too. But good luck, Snippy. Get better soon. I think he's going to put out he's put out a couple of videos, so go check him out at his website, his YouTube channel, which is jsnip4 number 2, because he's been kicked off at least twice. I thought he was kicked off 3 times. Maybe that's Jean-Claude. Anyway, lots to talk about in silver. Amazing. You guys have to, first of all, of course, nothing's going on today with the price. They're still above the moving averages, but the banks aren't going to let it run. Check out my last 2 videos. They will blow your frickin' mind. The last 2 videos, one is called The Silver Institute Just Increased All Historical Industrial Demand Numbers. The Silver Institute is trying to rewrite the past. And number 2, it talks about the solar issue right now. Solar has been literally going off the charts, mainly in China. I believe because they know the end is near. If you're a one of the green guys, you know the next administration, for example, in America, will not be very friendly to green energy. So Biden and friends are trying to get as much in right now. And you know what the most interesting thing is? Besides this chart, and it just dawned on me, I'm like, this chart is the photovoltaic, solar for China. The blue is China, the light blue is everybody else. And I'm looking at this, and it's like up 45%, and I'm like, that's what I talked about in my video yesterday. I'm like, this is insane. The silver demand goes right hand in hand with the solar installations. Hand in hand. As a matter of fact, more now. There's more silver used in the current, latest, and greatest. There's twice as much silver. Current, latest, and greatest silver solar panels, because TopCon right here, which is exploding, invented a new way. It uses twice as much silver, but gets more than twice as much output per silver ounce, something like that. But it is the best way to make it. I wouldn't invest in TopCon, no. TopCon's great when the silver price is at $23, but what would it be? Will they use more silver if the price was $23,000 or $230,000 an ounce? I know everybody that says, "Oh, Bix, why do you always do that? Why do you just?" Because we don't know the true fair market value of silver. I'll guarantee you it's not $23. How important is silver? Ted Butler loves saying this. If gold goes away and all of a sudden nobody had any gold, not much will be affected in your life. If silver goes away, everything will be affected. Everything electronic will be affected. That's how important silver is. It's the best conductor of electricity. That's why it's so valuable on the industrial side. But this, and someone pointed out, hey, Bix, it's even more bullish than you said, because this is just 3/4 of 2023. So silver already went up 45% compared to last time, the amount used, at least if you equate the solar panels to it. I think it's more because of TopCon, but that's just 3/4 of the year. We still had 3 months to add on to this data. So it won't be the 45%, which is put us right now at 200 million ounces of silver has been used in the solar industry. it won't be that because we have a whole quarter left. And if you look at some of the charts, most of the installations, these monster ones back here, are like back at second half or fourth quarter loaded. It's crazy. It's crazy. And no, the silver price won't change. It can't change because it's not allowed to change. They trade hundreds of millions of ounces per day just to control the price of silver with computers and derivatives on the COMEX. You want to see something really interesting? If any of you guys are really into what the Silver Institute does, because all their numbers are fudged and lied now, and they're catching themselves in their own lies. They are catching themselves in their own lies. This is a Silver Institute publication saying that in the first 3 quarters of 2023, silver has increased 45%. That's what I did the calculation. That's what this number is. China is 47%, went from 32% to 47%. China's massive. And even more is going on. So the Silver Institute is completely out of whack. They have been caught in their own stupidity and lies. And now we are going to see this number go up to over 450 for the year 2023. Just put that in your hat. That's 220 to 230 million ounces of silver used in photovoltaics. And by the way, it ain't stopping. Next year will be over 300, and then over 500. And then every ounce we pull out of the ground will be used in photovoltaics before 2023. And you want to see something even more insane? And if you go to my the roadtoruta.com, you go to the private road website, I have a full discussion on the coming announcement for silver. It's coming at the probably first or second week in December, and it is massive. And it has the ability to destroy the COMEX overnight. That's why you have to have your silver in your own possession. And that's what's going to be announced at the COP28. The U.S. and China, when the president of China was in town last week talking to Biden, they struck a deal all about COP28, which is the UN Climate Change Conference. They have agreed, and this is the largest countries in the world. Everybody at the UN, they've already agreed to it. They've already stated it, that they have to triple the size of what's going on in the electric green world. Triple. How are you going to triple something that's already broken, the silver market? Triple. Let me say it again, triple. So all that stuff about, solar panel using up all the silver by 2050, no, it's by 2030 now. Oh, by the way, if anybody has half a brain, obviously they're not going to say it's silver that the problem we're going to run into. Not only did they say triple, but they have signed an agreement that they're going to print money to pay for it. All the countries have agreed. We are going to completely support the solar, the electric car industry, the wind power industry. However much money is needed, we're going to print it. Doesn't matter, because we're trying to save the world by not, global warming or global freezing or whatever the daily rant is by Greta. Thank you, Greta. You're silver's best friend, truthfully. So that's all coming to a head right now, and I think it's really interesting. I go to the Silver Institute every once in a while because there's no other entity that really analyzes silver properly. But they did post this thing, fabrication demand for silver industrial. And I looked at it. I'm like, this is the dumbest report I've ever seen. Fabrication demand drives for silver in the industrial, jewelry, and silverware sectors through 2033. Oxford Economics, it's not Oxford the college, I don't think, because this is the dumbest report I ever read in my life. The whole thing, there's 20 pages and talking about industrial silver, and it mentions solar briefly. Just a tiny little mention of solar, which is the number one driver of industrial silver right now. Everything's going up pretty good. Electric cars are up, bubbling faster too. But the entire report, they don't even mention solar power. Why? Because it's a con. And the Silver Institute knows it. The Silver Institute rarely posts anything, but they posted 3 reports in the last week or a week and a half. One is their monthly newsletter, which I don't remember ever seeing that. It must have just started. Yeah, I don't see it anywhere. It must have just started. The insanity of what they're trying to cover up is incredible. And then the 2023 silver market review is what we just looked at. That's this. So in their review, oh my God, they also had. Wait a minute. Let's just keep going here. So this is the global. It's the review now. This is what do they call this? The interim silver market review. And then they changed the numbers, which I showed in my video. They changed all the demand numbers. The Silver Institute is flailing in the wind because the true silver story is screaming, leaking through on every single metric. There is no metric going down. They're all increasing, no matter what the Silver Institute says, especially their plug number, which is investment silver. Massive amounts of silver are being pulled out of the ETFs because the ETFs are fake. They're completely fake. They double count silver all the time in the ETFs. How many different derivatives are attached to the SLV silver controlled by JP Morgan? The guy from Goldman Sachs told us, Jeff Curry told us, the ETF, silver ETF, the shorts are the ETFs. They're the authorized participants of the ETF. What? That's completely illegal. That's basically saying that exactly what Jeffrey Christian told us. When we have customers that want to buy silver, it's the commercials, the lending banks that have to provide that silver. They take the short end of that contract. That's what Jeffrey Christian said. That's how a market works. It's not how a market works. You don't have broker-dealers destroying their own customers' financial moves. I want to buy 1 million ounces of silver. I go to JP Morgan and say, place an order for 1 million ounces of silver for me. So they take it, and then they take the short on it. It's like, what? That's what Jeff Christian just told everybody. It's not like we didn't know it, but coming out of the mouth of the idiotic spokesperson for the banks, it shines a bigger light on what's really going on. The manipulation of silver, and I've screamed it, is over 170 years old. Price suppression, the move in silver when it's freely traded, and it will never be freely traded on the COMEX, by the way. The move in silver is going to blow away any crypto move you can even imagine. Any of them. First stop will be $600. First stop. And then it comes down to gold-silver ratio. I do think gold could go to $5,000, $10,000 before the whole system breaks down. But silver's going to go to one-to-one ratio. Actually, I calculated, if we are going back to a gold-silver standard, I ran the calculation, rough obviously, of how many sovereign U.S. silver coins are out there, the denomination of them. So each eagle's $1 denominated, and then I think the gold eagles are 50. But I did the full calculation just to get a ratio if we do return to a gold-silver standard without all the secret gold and silver that they're going to introduce. But just what has the mint made so far, that ratio is 1.4 to 1. 1.4 to 1 as far as the monetary nominal value of each coin, gold coins versus silver coins. And that's right in line with my take. Silver should be 1-to-1. Why? Because there's 6 billion ounces of each. And it should be less than that because I know there's a hell of a lot more gold that they're not telling us, but I'll just leave that out of the equation. There's no need. There's no need to add something that should be obvious to everybody by now. But, oh, by the way, when silver comes out of the ground, it looks like close to 100% now. According to the Silver Institute, 100% of the metal coming out of the ground is used in industrial. Not industrial, in anything non-investment silver. So non-investment silver would be, they have it right here. This is their interim report. It's so dumb. It is so dumb. So right here is non-investment silver. Now this isn't the interim. This is the beginning of the year, their annual report. So it's industrial 576, plus photography 26, plus jewelry 199, plus silverware 55. That equates to like close to 900 million ounces, and they only got 800. This got changed to 820 million ounces coming out of the ground. So 100% of silver, 110% of silver coming out of the ground is used in industrial now. There's no room for you investors, sorry. According to the Silver Institute, there's no room for any investors. Sorry, you can't have silver. But Bix, it's only $23. I know, but you can't have it. Get your physical silver now. This is not going to last. The announcement is going to come in early December. This announcement right here at COP28. U.S. and China have already signed it. And now it just has to be announced to the world. They're going to triple the amount of green energy to save the planet. Here's a great article on Zero Hedge. Climate Enron may be headed for a crash. Talking about all the things that the green energy idiots don't think of. Number one in my book is they don't know that we don't have enough silver to do a tenth of... We don't even have enough silver to do what they're doing now. How are we going to times it by 3? But this article is very interesting because it talks about the stupidity of those people pushing the green agenda. And one thing that jumped out that I hadn't really thought about, I mean, there's so many obvious things, but it's this. The green war on fossil fuels, as fleshed out on Net Zero campaign, is perhaps history's greatest example of philosophical fraud. To dream the impossible and turn it into reality would mean sacrificing an estimate of 6,000 useful products that rely on byproducts from crude oil refineries. Products that range from asphalt to highways to fertilizers to cosmetics to synthetic rubber to medicines to plastics to medical devices to cleaning products and many, many more. The 3 billion who live without the benefits of fossil fuels have provided are also the poorest, sickest, and most vulnerable humans on the planet. Several problems stand in the way of their utopian dreams. It is a joke, but it's a sad joke. It's a sad joke because we are conned into believing falsehoods. That unless, whatever happened to, when was it that they said, Al Gore said, unless we change immediately, the world will not be here by 2011. We will have destroyed our planet by 2011. It's 2023. And we didn't do what Al Gore said. We started. They lie. Whatever happened to acid rain? Remember that one? That was a classic. Global warming, global freezing. Now it's climate change. So anything. It's sunny today and it's rainy tomorrow. That's climate change. Oh my God, the reality of what they get away with. And I'm not complaining this time because they're about to say, okay, we're going to print $10 trillion to save the planet, and we're going to buy up every ounce of silver with that $10 trillion. We're going to get every single... They might even announce a nationalization or confiscation of silver. People ask me that all the time. Pix, what about nationalization? What about confiscation? First of all, I would say ETFs are an easy target. It's all in one place. All you have to do is walk in there with a court order, say, okay, shut the vault. And that would be all the ETFs, even the good ones like CEF and the other Sprott silver ETF, PSLV. Now, obviously, they'll go into Jamie Dimon's vault for SLV and say, wait, there's no silver here. I do think that there will be there has to be a level of nationalization. Some countries, obviously, the moment that's announced, you won't know the price of silver. Comics won't trade anymore instantly. They'll just shut it down. So nobody will know the price of silver. And then they'll try to come for your silver, maybe. I mean, they won't get that much because most people don't have any silver. The big ETFs, yeah, those are easy to target. But in your own possession? And then what about all the silver eagles and pre-65 coinage made by the U.S. Mint? If we're going back to a gold and silver standard, you're not going to nationalize those and melt it down unless you're J.P. Morgan, which apparently they did with buying all those silver eagles while they were rigging the price. And according to Ted Butler, he thinks they melted them down, which is a capital offense. Another one for J.P. Morgan. It should be really interesting. Remember, fiat money doesn't matter to these entities. Jamie Dimon doesn't, the Fed doesn't care how much money is out there. They give it out the back door all the time and don't tell anybody. They bail out everybody and don't. Whatever happened to Deutsche Bank? They got bailed out by China. China wants this game to go on. Now the big losers are the United States of America, and we control the computer program to end the game. So is this the announcement? Is COP28 the final announcement to end the game? I don't know. It should be. Game should have ended a long time ago, but this will give them an excuse. And that's all they need to end the game, is an excuse. Why did the silver price go from $23 to $600? Was it rigged, or was it the announcement by the UN that they're going to spend unlimited amounts of money to create solar panels that use massive amounts of silver, to create electric cars that use massive amounts of silver? The entire electronic infrastructure needs massive amounts of silver. It's the best conductor of electricity. There are essential things that silver does in the tiniest of form that you can't get out of anything else. It is an amazing metal. It should be valued way higher than gold, if you ask me. Not just on supply and demand either. Other things are valued higher than gold, right? Anyway, that's what I got. The whole world is about to change, and the price doesn't show it at all. I mean, talk about a ridiculous thing to look at. Look at this. This is the price of silver. In 1980, it was up here. It was intraday. In 1980, it was $50 an ounce before the Hunt brothers were shut down. The COMEX declared that only sellers, no buyers. And then, of course, the price fell down. And then 2011, that was Jamie Dimon. Jamie Dimon with this guy Bill Daley, who was put as he's one of Jamie Dimon's squat team leaders. Bill Daley, who was put as chief of staff for Barack Obama, to create the bubble in 2011 for silver up to 50 and then slam it down to create an artificial bear market. And that's what we're in right now. One of the things that, by the way, the Dutch Central Bank just admitted that they're preparing for a gold standard. But one of the things that I was thinking about the other day, it just fleetly just came and went. It was going to be a good one, too. Shit. That's what I get. I should have said it right away. But yeah, we are moving to a gold-silver standard. The only way to get there is to destroy what is out there already, which is great. People don't think about, you can't there's going to be no Nesra or Jesra or anything like that because there's no deciders. Nobody's going to decide. Nobody's going to be able to decide. We can turn back to our Constitution in the United States, which states only gold and silver as money. The states can make their own coins, by the way, but it has to be gold and silver. I think. That's a little murky with the laws. Now, all the Federal Reserve law, it's unconstitutional. All that stuff is all unconstitutional. We've been living in an unconstitutional America for a very long time. But this could save our country. The announcement that silver is so freaking massively undervalued. And yeah, we probably won't see silver at $600 on the COMEX because it'll shut down right at like $30 because these guys won't pay up. There'll be a force majeure, which means an outside reason. Oh, climate change, we have to have a force majeure. Oh, war breaks out, we have to have a force majeure, meaning nobody has to pay their silver shorts. That's kind of where we're getting. So keep in mind that everything changes fast and frequently. There's no doubt that industrial silver is blowing the doors off any kind of numbers ever. And the Silver Institute is lying, flat out lying. We always knew they were lying, but now it's just blatant and in-your-face lying. Their own reports show massive amounts of silver in their interim report. I mean, I keep going back to it. I know I just did a video on it, but I keep going back to the interim report. I mean, this is just shocking numbers. Right here. This is shocking. That's 3/4. I would not be surprised if the real number for silver consumption comes out to 230 or 250 million ounces. We'll find out, right? When the Silver Institute tells us why. And oh, by the way, don't forget, next year, it's even going to be higher. And this TopCon is the company that's using twice as much silver, and they have a better product. All right, in-game approaches, you want to find out more. I have a great discussion on the private road about, where is it? Right here. The end-of-year special report about this whole thing, about the announcement that's coming. Go check that out. Great discussion with Will Lair and Jenny Moonstone always. And then some really interesting things at the Mint. Lots to see at roadtoruta.com in the private road. Go check us out. Join the private road. Just click on subscribe today, and you will see what we give out as a gift to every buddy who signs up for a 1-year membership. The Silver Ruta Lives coin. Coolest coin ever made. This coin, in my opinion, this coin is going to pay for this subscription time and time again. The single silver coin, I think, will easily pay many years of subscriptions in the future. So, get your piece of history. This is Big Weir. I'll talk to you later.